Hello everyone, my name is Victor. I'm from Komplet America, and I'm going to show you how to operate your Crocodile Plus. Follow me. First thing we're going to do, we're going to turn on your battery disconnect. Go to the opposite side, and we'll go over the functions. We're going to turn the key on. We're going to go over all the functions first before we start the unit, because it is a little bit harder to hear. So once you're at this screen, this is your main screen. You have your dates that you want to set up. You have your language. You also have your imperial or metric. A metric is depending on the PSI, it'll say bar, and imperial will say PSI. You have your alarm. Here that tells you that when your remote is synced. Currently it's not synced. When it's lit up, it is synced. It shows your information of the software. This tells you a rough idea of your maintenance schedule on your filters. There will be a reminder on this screen that you have to hold and the confirm button for a few seconds, and it will delete everything. So don't be worried if you have all these lit up. You'll have a confirm button. You hold that for roughly 30 to 45 seconds, and it'll clear itself. You have a little triangle here. If you have an issue with your unit, it will light. This will light up in red, and it'll give you all the codes and the date. Now we want to go to this section here. This is what we call our home screen. Our home screen, you still have a little triangle there. This button here just tells you the values in the system. This is your remote. That you can run the remote on this screen as well if you're not using your wireless remote, if you choose to. This is a password for all the parameters on the unit. Usually we don't have the password. We need to contact the manufacturer for the password. This is so the customer does not change any of the parameters and causes any damage to the unit. This arrow here is always your back button. So if you ever want to go to the previous screen, you hit that arrow. This section here gives you other options. So right now you have your track and turtle, which is slow speed, tracking the unit fast, which is rabbit. You have a water suppression system. If you had a water pump hooked up to this unit, you could turn it on and it will turn on your sprayers. This unit does not have that. Also, it has an option for lights. If you choose to, you could add lights to this unit. This would be the button for turning it on, turning it off. Next, you have a fan button. Normally, this is lit up. When the unit starts reaching a certain temperature, the fan will reverse itself. So you always want to have that lit up. This unit here comes with a secondary fuel system for a fuel pump, an external fuel pump. So if you're in a certain job site and you can't have a fuel truck come to the job site, you could fill it up from a 55-gallon drum. I'll show you that in a little bit after we go over the display. And that's the button that turns it on. This is for your depth. You normally do not want to touch any of these. These are preset the way they are from factory. This here is an option that's not being used. These screens are always used for certain units, so different parameters are set. This one's not being used. This is your information bar. It'll tell you your soot level, DPF, other information that you need to know. That's level-wise with your DPF system, like your level. Go back to the back button. Now, up top, you're going to see this button with the A. This button is where you normally want to operate your unit. So if you're using the remote wirelessly, I'll show you how to operate it. But normally you would hold your stop button and these two buttons go up and the unit will go into auto by itself. If you choose not to use your remote, you can go to the previous screen that I showed you prior, or you can hit auto. Auto, the machine will go into auto. Now, depending on the material that you want to do. If you want to shred wood, you leave it in the wood option. If you want a concrete option. When you hit concrete or wood, you'll see this button right here where it says sync. The shafts will follow each other. So right now on wood they're not synced, but I want them to sync. So you can have them so if the right shaft is going clockwise, the left shaft will follow and go clockwise as well. Normally for wood, you don't want to sync them. You want them to go one way and the other one to go the opposite way. This just helps shred the wood a little bit easier. Concrete, that's already preset. On the concrete setting, the shafts are normally synced. And then you have recyclable material, shafts are not synced. Now this setting here is a very important setting. This is your custom setting. The Krokodile Plus comes with 4 different variations of custom setting. You can keep on clicking. Three options. So say I want to do a custom setting. Custom setting 1. I will come all the way over here to this button right here. Click that. Now it'll show you the 3 options. 1, 2, and 3. So say I want to do a custom setting for my number 1 custom setting. So right now, in this setting, the shafts are not doing anything. So say I want the shaft, my right shaft, to go clockwise for 10 seconds. And then I want maybe 10% torque. But this shaft, I want it to go the opposite way. And I want that to go as well. 10% torque. And this is going to go for 10 seconds. You will hit save. Once you hit save, it'll ask you to add more. So you could always change these. You could always, depending on your material. If your material is coming to one side of your hopper inside on the chamber, you could reverse your shafts or clear it out. If it's too much in the middle and you want to go the opposite way, it all depends on your preference. But this is ideal, something to learn, something to play with. This will help you shred material a little bit easier. Let's go back button. Again, back to auto. Right here is your magnetic conveyor. Now, on the magnetic conveyor, it's normally lit up, and we always want to leave it lit up. It's a stationary magnet that's on one of the rollers. Now, say you hear a noise or something's not working in your unit. You want to go to your test op. So on test, we could turn on the magnetic conveyor. It'll be on. When it's lit up, it's on. It's off. Say I want to raise the front conveyor. Raise the front conveyor. Shafts. Now, when you hold this button, every time you hit this button, the shaft will rotate. Just like that. It'll rotate a little bit. If I hold it for a couple of seconds, it's going to keep rotating until I let it go. This is going clockwise. Now, if I want that shaft, which is this shaft, right where my left hand is pointing, I want that shaft now to go counterclockwise. I just hit this button here, and it'll go clockwise. Ideally, this you will use when you are opening up the flaps on this side, because sometimes the shafts are in a different location, and when you want to open up your side wings, they won't open. They'll be a little bit hard to open, and that's because the shaft is in a certain direction. Ideally, you would come here and you would tap it one time, two times, 3 times, and then you would hit the lever to open up the flaps. And that's normally how you open up the flaps. If the wings are not opening up at all, and they're just like they open up a little bit and they stop, your shafts are not in the right position. If you keep going, you will break your cylinder. So you have to have a little bit of patience and position the shafts in the right position for you to open up your wings. You have your RPM. So when you're in test, you could normally, when you test majority of the hydraulic system, you always want to go up a little bit on the RPM. You never really want to have the RPM idle. It's too much of a strain. And that's pretty much it on your test. Okay, so now after we have gone over what the display does, we're going to start up the machine, and hopefully you can hear me a little bit easier. So once our unit is turned on, we want to make sure our remote is turned on as well. By meaning, I want to make sure that's highlighted. So that's highlighted. Now we're able to sync the remote. Go back to our main screen. So to sync the remote, E-stop is out. You want to hit this button. It will flash fast. You hit it again, it'll flash slow. This is telling you that the unit is synced. Always keep this in the remote. If you will lose this, you will lose power. E-stop out, green button, flash fast, flash slow. To operate any unit on any part of this unit, you want to have the RPMs all the way up. So on this unit, you have this lever here, your power for your tracks. This valve here is to raise the unit. This lever here is for your conveyor to pull. This lever here controls your flaps. You see how the wings are not opening? Because our shafts are in a different position. This lever here is for a magnetic conveyor. Ideally, when you're transporting this unit, you want to have your magnetic conveyor in this position, and then you fold up your extraction belt. This lever here controls your hopper. Raise and lower your hopper. So this lever here is for the wings. You
the ones that we were trying to open up earlier. This valve on the down position is this cylinder. I want to operate the opposite side. I turn this valve up and I go to the opposite side. You have a valve here that you can control your cylinder. It's not opening because the crocodile shafts are rotated, and we have the safety bar in place. When you want to open up your flaps, first thing you have to do, make sure your flaps are all the way in. You want to remove this bolt here, and you want to pull the bar completely out. And then you'll see where the shafts are in position. You play with the lever, the wings will open all the way. You will put this bar in this location here, bolt it, and lock it in place. Now, we have the remote synced. Easy way to find out your remote is synced. You want to run your unit. You can test it. Now, if you want to put your unit in auto mode, you hit this button here, the start button, and these two buttons up. The unit turns on by itself. If you want to take it out of auto mode, you hit the start button and you want to go up. This unit comes out of auto. Also on this unit, you can also adjust your height. Meaning wise, from here to here, right before you raise your unit, you can take this pin out and you can bring it to the bottom, which will increase your height on your unit. Machine is equipped with two e-stops. You have one here, which I just shut off, and you have one on the opposite side. Once you're done with your unit, you shut the ignition off, and then you shut the battery. One thing to note is if you're transporting your unit or you're walking from one site on the job site, you do not want to travel it with all the way up. You want to have this at least down here about 1.5 feet off the ground. And that concludes our demonstration on the Crocodile Plus. Thank you. And if you have any questions, you can give us a call at 908-369-3340. So now I'm going to show you how to close down your machine for pretty much the end of your day operations. So follow me. So we got to wait for the screen to load. Once our screen loads, we'll turn on our key, start our machine up. So now we're going to sync our remote. E-stop out, start button once, it'll flash fast. Start button again, it'll flash slow. Now we want to raise our RPMs up. Go up here. Now we have our magnetic conveyor down. We need to bring that up. If you don't bring that up, what happens is when you bring the extraction belt up, you're going to hit it. usually, if you have your magnetic conveyor like this, and you're going on short periods, you're fine. If you're going on long periods, you see on the top there's 2 red hooks. You want to hook them just so it stabilizes so it won't fall down. They're on transport. Usually I recommend you put a ratcheting strap on there just in case it starts drifting down. Now that we have our magnetic belt up, we'll bring our extraction belt all the way up. Now that we have our extraction belt all the way up, we're going to lower down your machine. Now that you have your machine all the way down, lower your RPM, shut your key off. You go to the opposite side of the unit, and you hit your battery disconnect. And that concludes our demonstration of how to set up and operate your crocodile unit. If you have any questions, please give us a call at 908-369-3340. Thank you.